Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Epic Vision Zone. My name is Jane Applegath, a former award-winning stockbroker, television producer, scriptwriter, yoga instructor, serial entrepreneur, and now founder of the Epic Vision Zone. I'm here to help you fulfill your dream's big vision, grow the power of your voice, and achieve the impact you're meant to have on the world. Because what you say and why you say it is key to influencing more people, growing financially free, and living a more abundant and joyful life. Here at the Epic Vision Zone, we bring you some of the world's most influential people to inspire you to hit the go button on your epic life. A big thank you to everyone for being here. It is written that a big message is not when your ideal client understands you. It's when your ideal client feels understood by you. Leilani Wells is a visibility expert and brand manager specializing in social media, video content creation, and getting you seen. Known for her unique ability to recognize the highest level self in individuals, her passion is helping purpose-driven entrepreneurs. Using her social media, business, and intuitive skills, Leilani masterfully identifies an individual's potential and then guides them to fulfill it by showing them how to amplify and share their unique gifts within the world of social media and online marketing. She says that being visible is not only a key aspect to succeeding, but of thriving, because teaching her clients how to feel confident, empowered, and excited about who they are and what they do galvanizes them to live a life of freedom, joy, and self-fulfillment. A mom, author, business owner, coach, and philanthropist, Leilani values family, freedom, and being an inspiring presence to others who can then go forward and positively impact the lives of others. Welcome, Leilani. Thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you so much for having me. I am beyond excited.
Wonderful. Well, Leilani and we've been connecting for over a couple of years now, and I'm so excited to have her finally on. So let's jump right in. You have an incredible entrepreneurial journey. And my question to you is, what inspired you to develop your idea? I love the idea of getting seen.
Thank you so much for asking. So it's been a whirlwind of a journey getting here. And like many of us who have, I'm 42 years old. So along that path, I started working when I was 14 years old, very young. And along that path, I started to realize from then to now, all these things that came together that really connected one to the other. My sales experience, my marketing degree, all of these job experiences and business experiences led me to finally understand what I am supposed to be doing, which is visibility coaching and helping people get seen. And the biggest thing towards the end was really noticing so many different amazing things about so many different people. And I started to realize that without getting paid for this, people were having success based off of where I was guiding them. And I said, what if I can just do this for a living, spend more time with my son, and just live in what I love to do, live in my joy. And that's where the turning points began to happen. And I'm doing it.
Wonderful. Yes, I could see that with all of the experience that you've had in the back behind, what comes forward now in all of your coaching. It's so powerful, and it's so evident that all of that experience and having had that education in marketing and being visible, it really lifts your skills to the top level. So what would you say are successful entrepreneurial habits? Give us 3, if you could, to help our audience see what it is that we should be doing on a daily basis or weekly basis to get us to success.
Ooh, I love that. Okay, well, number 1, stay curious. And I think that that's a habit that's going to be easiest for us. And I think that we get lost so much in things having to be hard to feel like we're, doing something and progressing, but they don't have to be. They get to be easy. And the more and more curious we stay, the more we can actually see and recognize opportunities as they come in front of us. Instead of seeing those obstacles, we see the opportunities more so than the obstacles. So that would be number 1. Number two, to be successful would be stay in community. I fully acknowledge that there is no self-made entrepreneur out there, including myself. Yes, I did it while, being a single mom and having very little help with certain things. That being said, me being open and vulnerable and connecting with so many people regularly showed me that these people at the top, like, I don't know, Zuck and Bezos, for example, even though that we only see their faces at the height of the pinnacle of their success, I now know that they have thousands of people in their inner circles that actually are the people working with them to get them and keep them there, right? We are not self-made. So understanding, staying in community, contributing to others, giving credit where credit's due. If somebody does something for you when you're in community, acknowledging that is a very key aspect, because people notice people who are acknowledging other people on a regular basis, and that actually uplifts you, and people want to work with you and do things with you because they know that they'll be acknowledged and appreciated. Right. So that's another aspect. Let's see. The third thing, I don't want to just give anything because there are so many different things. I want to give something that's very important. So for a successful entrepreneur, so right now, this year, as I'm up leveling, I am noticing that it's very important to up level my self-care. So right now, I feel that the more and more I pour into myself, and that can mean anything from, because it's for me we're talking about right now, but it can mean different things for everyone who's listening. But for me, it means maybe a massage or a walk in the park. I'm going bike riding with my son tomorrow, and I don't own a bike, so we're going bike shopping, and then we're going from there on the bike ride. We're having a picnic, and then I got my nails done, pedicure yesterday, but I usually, when I do that, just get that done. I said, well, you know what? Let me get my eyebrows waxed too. I'm going to up level even more. I'm pushing myself because, especially as women, historically, we feel guilty every time we do for ourselves, right? And so I'm learning to step out of that and into caring for myself, my body. This is the body that God gave me to house my soul. And so I'm recognizing more and more the importance of it. And as an entrepreneur, we are pouring into, the more and more successful we grow, we are pouring into so many people on any given day. I mean, in one day I could talk to 50 people in different ways, whether it be on social media, over the phone, over Zoom, over this and over that. And if you care and pour every single part of you into each of those levels of communication, you can get depleted if you're not pouring into yourself. So I'm noticing that, and some other leaders got me hip to that, and I just took it off the ground and running. So that's the third thing I would say.
I love it. Oh my gosh, Leilani, you speak to my heart. Excuse me. So there's curiosity, which I love because curiosity leads to creativity. There's community, which is so vital, not only for women particularly because we are nurturers, but for collaboration, which is fantastic. And then you've got self-care, which is so important. And that could be anything. Like you said, a walk, a bike ride. I'm a yoga fan. So of course that would just be, doing some yoga, but love it. Oh my gosh, those are fabulous habits to have always, no matter what, even if you're not an entrepreneur. Thank you so much for sharing that. Tell us what differentiates your business from your competitors.
So I love that. And I love hearing the word competitors, right? Because a lot of my past experience has been about competition. And for the first few years of going back to, I think I started coming out of this with the mindset of the competition and people doing what I do probably about a year ago, fully stepped out of it. Before then, I was kind of stepped out of it. But right now, I'm noticing that I don't feel a level of competition with anyone because there's only one me, right? There's only one you. There's only everyone who's listening today, right? There's no duplicate of you. So for me, that's where I just kind of, okay, well, let me just be a visibility coach and do what makes me special for the person that needs me. And that's kind of how I handle it. And just go about like nobody else exists in this realm of visibility coaching. because there are going to be many, many, many other visibility coaches. But the fact of the matter is that one visibility coach that's out there is going to give someone something entirely different than what I give, because they became visible through different experiences that they've had in their life. And the person that's attracted to them is supposed to be attracted to them because that's the connection that that person sees in them. There's a gap that they know, like intuitively, that that person can fill. So my people are going to be drawn to me in that way because of my experiences that got me to feel like I can be visible as well. So it's really exciting. And with that, I've noticed that I will go and speak on stages where somebody does similar stuff to what I do all the time. I will go and do interviews with the same people who do the same thing I do, share stages, whatever. And we both get clients, you know, so it's wonderful.
Yes, you're right. We who you seek is seeking you. It's one of my favorite quotes.
Yeah.
Love it. Absolutely. And I completely understand. And speaking of visibility in this sense, then from Leilani Wells, what does being visible mean to you and what does it mean to a client?
Okay. So when clients come to me, intuitively, I think they understand a piece of what they need from me, but don't fully know until it's like the ball's in motion, right? And then starts to get really exciting for them. So I think that from me with visibility, what they're going to get is just really a sense of understanding, how do I show up and not feel awkward and feel like this is something that I'm doing that feels more natural and fun and joyful, and not complex with all the tech stuff, like, as well. You know, what's involved with that. I think that people get pretty excited to learn that I'm not just talking about social media, that I'm acknowledging that, you know, social media is another form of communication, and really being visible is just saying, hey, I'm here, and I'm very passionate and excited about what I do, and I want to be of service to you. I want to, you know, you're my ideal client, and let me show you how to do it. And I think that's very exciting to understand that visibility really is just letting people know, communicating with them that you're there. You're there.
Yeah. Yes, because I
Mhm.
do. Leilani has wonderful communication skills in the sense that she is always visible on whether it's Facebook or Instagram. But I feel too, what happens is when I'm thinking of moving into getting a coach in that area or wanting some information, Leilani is top of mind because she's there. So I find that type of, that's what I feel too that you do for your clients, is that you help them to become top of mind for others that are out there looking for that particular individual. And becoming visible now, that you just touched on this a little bit because you said that people, you want them to be comfortable being visible. What does it take emotionally, psychologically, and conceptually to really put yourself out there and to be noticed?
That I love this. This is a great question because this is the part that people come to me about the most that they don't get. Because you can Google and YouTube all of the things to figure out how to get more visible, but you're not doing it. Why? Because there's stuff going on inside of you. And I'm going to kind of make 2 points out of this. So one, going back to how you said, you know, how I would be top of mind all the time because you see me all the time, right? And what's really cool, and thank you for that. I really love that, because what's cool about that is I learned a couple years ago, after I was going through something where I decided to stay offline more often. I learned that it's really about, for me anyway, I know there's differing people in my industry that have differing opinions, but for me, what's worked for me is quality over quantity. So basically, what I've noticed is that every time I show up, there's a thought process that goes into my posts, my phone conversations. I check in with how I'm feeling emotionally before I pick up the phone, and I'm never going to intentionally put anything but incredible energy out to someone individually, or in a grander scheme of things on a post where hundreds of thousands of people might see it, right? It's tapping in with your energy, and are you adding value, right? Every time I have an interaction with another human being, I want to understand, how do I add value into this person's life immediately, as fast as I can, to show them I care, to just add that value. And this is true visibility. And when you come on, so going back to how I'm not doing quantity all the time, but like people like yourself see me as so visible, even though what happens is sometimes I put 4 and 5 posts out a day, and then I'll disappear for 2 weeks and not put anything. Nobody notices, because every time I show up, it's with the intention of being in service. And what that can look like, so going now to the second part of what you were asking, which is the question about, the emotional part behind it. A lot of times we are not being ourselves because there's so much involved in our minds about what that means to be quote unquote authentic, right? It's a very popular word being thrown around right now, authentic, right? Which is great. At the same time, if you're having a mental breakdown, because you got in a car accident that day, or your kid's throwing a tantrum or whatever, authentically, you feel like crap and you want to punch a wall. You know what I mean? You don't want to put that energy out there, right? So you're not going to just jump online and talk about your business. But being real could mean anything. You could put like one sentence and make someone laugh, but your intention behind it is to just make someone laugh, or create some sort of emotion in someone, like you're talking to a friend. I always imagine that I'm talking to my friends. I'm sharing something with my friends. So I almost never, most of my posts are not about what I do. They're about people just seeing me as me.
Right.
I've had a video posted of me fire spinning the other day. I have posts about me and my son and what we're doing, just whatever, because people want to connect with you, with people they like to do business with. They want to like you and trust you and know you, and the consistency of you showing up in whatever consistency means to you is going to be consistent. And that's always with the intention of checking in before you do that. Now, with the emotional side of it, is really understanding that if you're not cool to jump online, don't. Just don't. Because you will be okay one time, and then you do then. It's not about all or nothing. It's finding a time to just say, okay, this is what I'm committed to, and when I'm not, I'm not. It's people sometimes they let it all go because they can't post every day. So that's
Right.
what the negative emotional side can do. So that's a little long-winded. I hope that answered, but that's where how I kind of gauge it all.
No, that was really well put. I mean, what I grabbed from that right away was check in with yourself beforehand and move forward with the intention of being of service. So, first of all, be aware of where you are. I mean, the next question was self-awareness, and what is a key part of presenting yourself. But you kind of, it's a fabulous segue, but I didn't want to. No, the answer was I could feel exactly where you were going with that. And if that's not your, it doesn't resonate with you to put certain things on, or you're emotionally in a bad space or psychologically, then don't that goes back to self-care. Give yourself a break,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Listen to yourself. But I love that, because you're absolutely right. Most of us, what we do is we focus on ourselves when we're presenting, whether it be a post or something. We're thinking about ourselves. What we want to do is shift that and think about our audience, or who we're serving, even better. I love it. That was fabulous.
Yeah.
So self-awareness, just tap on that a little bit. I did sort of, I could see where that comes right into play for visibility. So presenting yourself to an audience, self-awareness is one of the keys.
Yeah. One thing I'd add to that too is, when we're speaking to our friends, we're not worried about how we're perceived, because all we're trying to do is be there for a friend and do what's right for our friends. So that's why I always like approach social media and interactions with, this is my friend, and even thinking of them as like the best friend I ever had. How do I pour into this person? And then it really takes you completely out of your mind, and you know exactly what to do. We always know what to do for other people. It's when we're thinking about ourselves, like, oh, if I post this, what are people going to think of me? Or if I say this, how do I look? Me, right? So when we're thinking about the other person, that's where it really is just a lot easier to be in service. And the other aspect too is when you are looking at authenticity, there are many sides to ourselves. So you're not being inauthentic by showing different sides, because those are still sides and aspects of you, right? So if you want to just, so a lot of people think it's inauthentic that you're not airing your dirty laundry on social media. That doesn't serve anybody. It doesn't serve anybody. So no, you're not being inauthentic, not airing your dirty laundry or your bad days. It doesn't serve anybody. If somebody thinks that you're showing a fake life because it's all happy and all of this and that, well, that's not your fault. It's not your problem. You're doing this for them is just as much as you.
I love that. Yes, awareness. That is something
Mhm.
that we need to. This is incredible what you're unfolding here, Leilani, because so many of us, we get into this routine and the coaching and the doing, but we need to step back and say, okay, why are we doing it? What is the purpose? I love how are we serving? Because then it doesn't become how are we marketing? How are we selling? Those are all the
Yeah.
wrong types of not only attitudes, but the wrong way to approach it, because that energy is going to go out in the world when you get into
Yeah.
that mode, and people are going to see it and sense it. And you're right, you don't have to post. I agree. That's all I can say, is because I have a niece who is very young, and the young people post everything, and it's like, yeah, that's not serving me. And that's why I get
It's
irritated with a
not.
lot of social.
Why are we doing this?
Exactly. I'm very interested in teaching, and so are you, and learning. So that being said, I know that there are several social media platforms. Maybe you could narrow down a couple for our audience to give us an idea of which ones you prefer and why.
Okay, I love this question because I'm going to share it in two different forms. One, which ones I prefer for me, and then other ones I prefer for different people. So I'll give examples so the audience can also think of what might be great for themselves, right? Because their business is different than my business, their life is different than my business. For example, I used to grow a YouTube channel and shut it down years ago. And I decided that at that time and place, and still at this time and place, that is not the place for me right now, but it will be at a different time in my business. So for right now, at this point in my business, I gained so much value and joy, and I really feel comfortable on LinkedIn and Facebook. I really enjoy it. I gain my business primarily from LinkedIn and Facebook right now, because that's what I'm placing my energy into, and I enjoy it. It works into my schedule as a single mother. I'm in the process of my second round of scaling my business. So there's a lot involved in that, a lot of hands-on stuff I need to do. So for me to just be able to casually just not have to curate everything on those two platforms, it works out well for me, because when you curate, there's more time involved, and then there's another section of my business I'd have to grow to be able to do that, right? Now, that being said, I find value in all the social media platforms for different reasons, different things, different people. For example, one of my clients, her name's Diane. She basically is a coach for people who have autistic children and want to really have great family time and really find more joy in travel experiences as a family. And she guides them to it. She has a TikTok, and her TikTok is very good for what she's growing, and it's quick the way she's wound up doing it. And she's also a single mother, and that's a quick thing for her to make her TikToks in the strategic way she does it. I have another past client who has grown on different platforms. She started off growing on TikTok, but then what we did was we helped her carry over to multiple different platforms because she was more of a creator and an entertainer. So
Mm.
she was not getting the monetization that I wanted her to have by just being on TikTok, even though she had over 1 million followers. So we then said, okay, let's build on Instagram, YouTube, all these things. And now she is monetized at a greater level because she has, that level of following on YouTube, for example. Whereas, now she's able to monetize because it's YouTube and
Right.
you can do that. So it really depends. Another thing is email marketing. That is something that works well for me. It is something that helps me, people with a know, like, and trust factor. When I'm already kind of speaking with them, I send them emails, and that sort of, solidifies a new client understanding. Oh, okay, I send testimonials and things of that nature. And I think that email marketing and email delivering and sharing information is very good for people who are looking to grow their business, because you can really form a community in there. So yeah, Pinterest, I will mention, because if people want to sell to and get their
Mm.
website SEO increased, Pinterest is good for that. So yeah, there's all of them are great, but my favorite and answer are Facebook and LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, right, and Facebook, yes. But I love that you work with your client, it sounds like, to establish which platforms will work best for what they are, their unique services or their unique product. Because, like you
Yes, that's
said,
how we
that's what
actually
I go.
start.
Right, and I love that because it's not as though you force them to go into a specific platform just because it's maybe one of your favorites, but it doesn't fit their particular service or product. So that's great because you're very knowledgeable in all of the different platforms, which really helps. So that being said, what do you hope people walk away with when from your coaching service?
I hope people walk away with a greater level. And when I say greater level, I mean just through the roof, just knowing who they are, and just having a level of joy and expansion, and a level of self where they don't hold back, where they just explode. And this is just a regular thing. This is just no holding back. Yes, we have bumps here and there, but it's a certainty thing now. After they work with me, we're going to keep going and going and going and going, and never stop. And I'm finding that that's what my clients are doing. And it's so fulfilling for me to watch them just climb to the top, to the top. And I don't even like the word climb, because they're not. It's with more ease, and
Right,
joy
right.
and all of that. They're just expanding who they are without letting themselves get in the way of themselves, and that's what I hope. I want them to be fulfilled. I want them to feel great, and I want them to start noticing when they are fulfilled and they're feeling so great and joyful inside, all the people that just come to them, that are just coming to them.
Yeah, because you're opening them to their full potential.
Yes.
And when you do that, their vibration puts out the signal. So who you seek is seeking you comes full circle. Yeah, it's
Yes.
beautiful.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and by the way, can I share real quick with your audience about how amazing you are? I know they know because they see you all the time, but I just have to give a shout out to you because,
Thank you.
yeah, no, you have worked with some of my clients on messaging, and they just raved about you. And can't say enough great things. So you guys listening, if you are looking for anybody who can coach you through with messaging and just transitioning to any different type of understanding that you need clarity in this area or that to get to the next level, you've got her right here in front of you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Leilani. Oh, that's fabulous. I see this woman is just incredible. Um, let's just move forward here. And thank you once again. I appreciate you. Get Seen. Tell our audience about your program, Get Seen. And I love the title,
Yes.
by the way.
Thank you. It's a 3-month program. And what it is me saying, hey, not only am I going to work with you on a lot of the things that we discussed here today and have a great time with it and do all these things, but it's also me connecting you with amazing business women who are like-minded, because what I've noticed as far as, and I've shared this at the beginning of the interview, that we don't get there alone. So I want you to build community. When you have progressed through my program, you still have all these other women to just lift each other up all the way through and just keep going and going, and having more and more success. So yeah, that's the short end of what Get Seen's about. But if you want to know more, of course, you can reach out to me.
Yes, it's wonderful, by the way. I love it. I love the, I've been fortunate enough to work with Leilani, and it's a fabulous program. And the community is terrific as well. So any last words that you would like to share with our audience while we're here?
Yeah, I'll just say to your audience, you are here listening today because you have something special. And you are at a point where it is time to begin that process of just allowing that expansive part of you, expanding on that, exploring that. We all are a puzzle piece in this, world. Everyone has their place. And a lot of times we're not happy because we're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole with what we're doing for a living. And you can, if you so choose, and if you're brave enough to step out and be around the right people that'll support you, you can actually do what you love, that you're here put on earth to do, and make money doing it. It's just a matter of having that trust and saying, you know what, let me do that. That's what I'm supposed to do anyway. Let's just go for it.
Right. Go for it. That's the bottom line. Mm-hmm. Take some action, get some clarity, and find a really good coach like Leilani. Love it.
Thank you.
Because we're here we're just love each other. So what can we do? We've connected, and we have the same vibration, as you can all tell. Mm-hmm. One last question, because we're here on the Epic Vision Zone. If your life or an epic story, what would the title be?
In the moment. That's what came to me, in the moment.
I love it. That makes complete sense. In the moment. Yes. Fabulous. I love it. So thank you again, Leilani, for joining us. Be sure to check out Leilani's profile on LinkedIn, and you can also find her contact info and more on the Epic Vision Zone bio page. And be sure to follow me on Instagram at Jane Applegath, and check out how you can become an epic entrepreneur at janeapplegath.com and get your free download, The Keys to Your Dreams Success. And I'm more than welcome to hear from you. So please also go and contact me on my website. Let's set up a call. I'm always here to help out. And this has been the Epic Vision Zone, transforming your dreams into epic success.